Hello, my name is Julius, and thank you for watching episode 47 of Applicable Applications. In today's episode, I want to talk about Warp, a modern AI terminal emulator that reimagines the command line and brings it up to date for today's developers. Now, Warp is built with Rust for speed and efficiency, and like I said before, it's a reimagined terminal. Now, one of the things that's great about Warp is it functions a lot like an IDE, which is a code editor. An example would be PyCharm or VS Code. And since it's like an IDE, you can use not only your keyboard but your mouse as well, allowing you to be able to edit different lines of code a lot easier. Warp also has things like smart commands, which Warp will kind of memorize the different commands that you type, and as you're going throughout your day using Warp, it'll recommend those frequently used commands, which is nice because it helps speed up the process. Another cool thing about Warp is it also has blocks. And what these blocks are is essentially whenever you type out a command and you get your response, it puts it in a block. So as you're scrolling throughout your terminal history, it's easy to identify what you're looking for. Another cool feature is that Warp has AI. And because it has AI, you can use natural language in the terminal. And what I mean by that is instead of having to memorize different code commands to use in your terminal, you can ask Warp to do something for you in normal English. So for example, I can ask Warp's AI to list out all the files in a specific directory for me, and then Warp will understand what I want to do, which is list out all those files, and it will do that and give me that output for me, which is really nice in case I forget a command or I just have a hard time remembering what it is. Another cool feature about Warp is its Warp Drive, and basically it allows you to save and organize frequently used commands and to be able to share those with any teammates that use Warp as well, which is really nice. And speaking of teammates, you can use Warp in a team setting as well. Now, Warp is not just a great terminal, but it's also one you can customize and make personal to you. Warp has the ability to customize the theme, prompts, text color, text font, all within the settings, which is really nice because that helps to personalize Warp to you, allowing you to feel like you're not just using a standard black and white terminal, but something that is yours. Warp also has real-time terminal sharing. As I mentioned before, you can use this in a team setting, and this allows team members to be able to view and also interact inside of a shared terminal, allowing you to do kind of paired programming as well, which is very nice. It has cross-platform compatibility. As of current, it's available on macOS and Linux, but Windows support is coming soon as well, so just stay tuned for that, anybody who's on a Windows device. Now, Warp also has an enhanced text editing and block functionality, so if you're working on something like a remote machine or you're trying to SSH, as long as you can use Bash, you can also have an easy time using a text editor inside of Warp as well. Now, while Warp is a great terminal, there is quite a big learning curve to use Warp, as you will kind of have to get adjusted to some of Warp's features. Not to mention, you can customize it in the settings and change things up. But not only that, if you kind of know how to use the terminal and install things like Oh My Z Shell or Power Level 10K to customize it even more, there's just kind of like another layer of things that you kind of have to go through or remember as you're using Warp. But if you do manage to get over that and learn Warp, you'll realize you have a very productive and enhanced terminal that can boost your productivity as you're using Warp. Now, going back to what I said before, Warp can be used in a team setting. So Warp does have a price tag on it. Now, for anybody who's just using Warp by yourself or personally, it is free, which is great because that means you don't have to pay for anything. But if you are using Warp in a team setting, it will come with a price tag. But in my opinion, it's not too much. So for any team who's looking to use Warp, I would suggest you guys try it out. In my opinion, it is well worth the price. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching episode 47 of Applicable Applications. Please do like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode.